Good afternoon. My name is Karen Sanchez. I'm studying to be an English teacher in the Distrital University here in Bogota. Thanks to watch my speech and I hope that you can enjoy. So today I'm going to talk about a common trend in our society. So the 30% of the 340,000 aesthetic procedures that are performed here in Colombia corresponds to the surgeries done in teenagers below 18 years. Can you believe it? It's incredible. This means that in Colombia about 100,000 patients under the age of 18 go to operating rooms to fix, for example, a physical defect or something that doesn't fit with the expectation of beauty. According to Lina Triana, the national president of the Colombian Society of Plastic, Aesthetic and Reconstructive Surgery, in the last 5 years, the trend has increased. It's incredible. If a teenager wants to receive an aesthetic procedure, the consult should be done in presence of a parent, and even if the teen is above legal consenting age, this presence of a parent is still needed. Why? Because they need to be aware of the implication that a procedure like this has. So, a time to rethink this decision is essential because if we are not sure of what we are going to do, we have to stop and rethink and take another decision. So, as we know, it has a lot of implications. So, if a problem is severe enough to cause psychological problems, a psychologist can help in arrive at a decision. So, for this reason, here in Colombia, the Congress passed a law that prohibits plastic surgeons from performing cosmetic intervention on teenagers below 18 years. So I agree because they are children and we have to teach them to love themselves and to love their bodies and respect their bodies. So the most common surgical procedures performed on those 18 years teenagers, according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, are orthoplasty, rhinoplasty, breast reduction, correction of breast asymmetry, gynecomastia, and silicone implants. These are the most common procedures done by teenagers. So, should aesthetic surgery in teenagers be banned? What do you consider? I consider that they shouldn't do these kind of practices. So, according to Dr. Gabriel Castwell, president of the Cosmetic Physicians Society of Australia, children shouldn't receive cosmetic or surgical procedures of any kind unless there are compelling medical or psychological reasons to do so. So, if a child, for example, had health problems and needs to receive one of those interventions, he or she can do it, but he has to be aware of the implications and all the things that a procedure that like this has. So, as I said before, I agree because we need to teach our students that each of us is different and it's not bad be different. So we have to accept our body as it is and we have to love our body and respect our body as I said before. So another important thing here in this decision is the role of the parents. Why? Because, for example, the owner of the Medispa, a Sydney cosmetic medicine center, reported that it's extremely common in the United States for high school girls who have money to have any kind of aesthetic procedure as a reward of graduating. I can't believe this because I cannot accept that That, for example, in this case, parents are allowing that their children don't respect their bodies, and it is horrible. It's horrible that they prefer change their children bodies instead of teach them how to increase their self-esteem and teach them to love their body and to love themselves. So, between the ages of 13 and 19, that's a lot of emphasis on peers and what other thinks of you. So it's also a time when things as such not be part of the popular crowd, for example, or changes in financial situations or divorces. So those things can negatively affect the teenager's self-esteem. So parents need to help their child to increase their self-esteem in order to teach them how to love their bodies and be aware of that each of us are is different, and we have to love those differences. So therefore it's important to determine whether or not these patients or these teenagers are requesting surgery to satisfy their own interests, because sometimes it can be to meet the expectation of someone else, as for example a parent or a boyfriend or girlfriend. So we have to take this part is very important to take into account. So it's important to distinguish between teenagers below 18 years and those who are above 18 years. So the older ones are legally of consenting age, but yeah, the reasons why they took those decisions are very similar. So they have two types of issues or reasons to take those decisions. The first one is to conform to their peer group, and the second one, obvious cosmetic problems, for example, asymmetry or asymmetry of breast or gigantomastia. So that this gigantomastia is a sickness that causing several medical problems. So it can be another reason. So it's so taking into account this, when a person needs to receive some intervention like this, it's important that the adolescent or the patient completely understand three important things. The first one is the procedure. The second one is the possible complication and likelihood for additional surgery at some future date. Uh, Also, the possible complications that these procedures has. So, as with all surgical procedures, appropriate informed consent will be required. Why? Because the education process associated with an informed consent should help the patient or the parent to understand the risk, the benefits, and the potential complications associated with these kind of procedures. So, for example, while breast implants have proven to be safe, possible risks, for example, include bleeding, infection, or poor healing of the incision and changes in nipple or breast sensation, and another things that can happen. So all surgery also carries risk associated with anesthesia. So the person who is going to take this decision so is need to be aware of those implications and possible risk that these interventions have. So to conclude, um, I consider that children shouldn't receive cosmetic or surgical procedures of any kind, unless there are compelling medical or psychological reasons to do so. But I consider that they shouldn't receive this kind of procedures. So the second conclusion is that if one children need to receive an aesthetic intervention due to health problems or things like that, his or her parents need to know what are the implications and the risk that these kind of procedures have. And finally, parents need to help their children to increase their self-esteem because it's important to show them that each of us is different and it should not be a problem. We have to love our differences and we have to love our body and respect our body and accept that we are different. So this was my speech, and I hope that you enjoy it. So thanks a lot, and see you later. Thank you.